Welcome back for the next lecture of the hydraulic engineering. We started for the last unit from our syllabus, that is a dimensional analysis and model analysis. In the previous class, we have seen the basics of the dimensional analysis, that is the meaning of the dimension, meaning of the unit, then what is meant by dimensional analysis, why it is used, where it is used, then dimensional homogeneity. After that, we started for the methods of dimensional analysis, that is the Buckingham Pi theorem, in which we have seen the basics, that is a statement we had seen of the Buckingham Pi theorem. Now we'll go for the applications of the Buckingham Pi theorem for the establishing of the relationship, or to prove the relationship that exists between the various physical quantities. Means suppose that one of the researcher has already shown that particular equation or particular relationship between the various physical quantities involved in that particular phenomenon. Then if you want to cross check it, we were able to do that by using the Buckingham Pi theorem. So today in the session we will go for such type of the application of the Buckingham Pi theorem. Then afterwards we'll go for the model, prototype, similitudes, similarities, model laws, distorted and undistorted models, etc., etc. Okay, along with the non-dimensional numbers and why they are useful or what is their significance, that part also we'll go for. Okay, we'll go for the example which was asked in the examination. It was asked in May 12 for 7 marks and May 9 for the 8 marks. Okay, so firstly what we'll do, we'll go for the statement of the example and then we'll go for the a solution part in details. Now for the analysis purpose, that is for application purpose of Buckingham Pi theorem, I am considering the example which was asked in the university examination. The same example was asked for the 2 times. It says that show that a frictional torque T, capital T, of a disc having the diameter as a capital D, which is rotating at a speed of n, capital N means the angular speed they had given, in a fluid of viscosity mu and density rho, in a turbulent flow, means the flow in which that disc is rotating, if that flow is a turbulent flow, is given as T is equals to d raised to 5 n raised to 2. Density is a function of mu upon d square into n into rho. It is asked to show this relationship by using the Buckingham Pi theorem. Now we'll go for the stepwise. I mean, the first step, what we have to do, we have to enlist all the parameters those are involved in the given process. Okay, so I'll have to first a listing of the variables along with the their units and the dimensions. So first step, I would like to write a listing variables, means all the variables those are involved here, along with their units and dimension. Why we are going to write their units and dimension? Because we need to find out how many fundamental dimensions are existing in the enlisted various parameters those are involved here. So I'd like to start for the parameters. Those are, first one I would like to go for as a torque, which is dependent variable. Okay, so for the torque, now if you go for its a unit and dimension also we have to write down over here. So torque is having unit as a Newton meter. Okay, I'd like to go for firstly as a unit, that is a Newton meter. If you go for simplification of it, then we'll have kg. Newton means kg meter per second square into a meter. Now from this we have to write down its a dimension involved. So dimension form will be now kg is having dimension as a mass, so m will be there. Now meter is having dimension as a L, but here m into m is there, means meter square we can write, that is a L square. I would like to go for L square. त्याची power काहीच नाही, म्हणजे त्याला एक power असणार आहे. L square into a second is having the dimension as a time. Okay, so it is in the denominator, means it will have the power as 2, t raised to 2 in the denominator, but when you will take the in the numerator, it will have the power as a -2. So this is a power as a t raised to -2. This is the dimensional form of the first variable, that is a torque, which is dependent variable. It is dependent on all those things. Okay, all those variables. This is the first one. What we did, we have written the variable. It's a unit simplified. We have simplified unit we have written over here, and then from that we have written it's a dimensional form. Then the next one I would like to go for, that is a n, capital N. In sequence we will go for. Now n is having the unit as a rad per second, radians per second. Means in the dimensional form, if you go for, it will have the dimension as a per second. Second is having the dimension as a time, so it will be t raised to -1 only. Okay, that is for a n. That is a rotational speed, we can say. Okay, after that the next one we will go for, that is a d. Okay, t is over. Now we'll go for a d. So d is a diameter. Its a unit will be now, what is the unit for the d?
Meter.
Right, that is a meter. So if the unit is a meter, then what will be its dimension?
m⁻²⁰.
Dimension m stands for the mass, kg. Okay, dimension L stands for a length, which is having unit as a meter, and dimension T stands for the second. Okay, so here we have the meter, means this is a length, so we'll write as L raised to 1. Okay, L raised to 1. D is over. Then what else remain? Density will go for now. So density is having unit as density unit kg per
meter square.
kg per meter cube. No, density, mass upon volume. Mass is having unit as a kg and volume is having unit as a meter cube. Okay, so now density, mass upon volume. Volume is in meter cube, mass in a kg. Okay, so now kg is a dimension, kg is having dimension as a mass, so that will be a small m raised to 1. Then meter is a dimension of the length. Okay, so we'll go for L cube, but that will be L raised to -3. Why -3? Because it is in a denominator here. Okay, so that's why if you are taking in the numerator, it will be a -3. So 1 2 3 4, what is remain? Mu is remain. So mu is nothing but the dynamic viscosity, and unit of the mu is a Newton second per meter square. Newton second per meter square. Now I will have to simplify it. Newton is a kg meter per second square into second into 1 by meter square is there. Okay, 1 by meter square is there. Means one of the meter will get cancelled and one of the second will also get cancelled. So what else remains now? Kg. Okay, kg per meter per second. 1 मीटर शिल्लक राहिला, 1 सेकंड शिल्लक राहिला. आपण सिम्प्लिफाय केलं. का बरं सिम्प्लिफाय केलं? We have simplified it because we want to write now it's a dimensional form. So now in the dimensional form, kg is having the dimension as a mass, so m raised to 1. Then meter is having dimension as a L, so L raised to -1 because it is in a denominator. And similarly, a second is having the dimension as a time, t raised to -1. Okay, so this is the units and dimensional form of all the variables those are involved herein. So we had a t, n, d, rho, and mu. So how many number of total physical quantities are involved here? That is a small n I would like to write. How many physical quantities are there now? Physical quantity 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So total physical quantities involved here in this equation or in this relationship are 5. Now out of that we have to find out how many fundamental physical quantities are there. How many fundamental dimensions, sorry, how many fundamental dimensions are there? Fundamental dimensions, which are the fundamental dimensions? M, L, and T. It may happen that in the one of the physical quantity all is to exist, or in the other quantities there is to, or in the one of the quantity two of them used to exist or only one is to exist, but we have to check that how many of them, means out of total three fundamental dimensions, how many are present in the dimensions those we have written over here. So those are the dimensions which we have written over here for all the physical quantities. So now we are finding that in a first physical quantity, that is a torque, m is there, l is there, t is there, mean all three are there. Okay, means in a only one we got the three, means we can write the maximum number of physical quantities are maximum number of fundamental dimensions are three and all are existing here, that is a three. Now from this we will get how many number of items, that is how many combinations we will be able to form, that will, those will be the non-dimensional parameters, means how many non-dimensional parameters we are going to be established or we will be able to establish. So how to calculate them? So number of items, I would like to write, therefore number of items. Items means the relationship form of the physical quantities in a non-dimensional form. So number of items, those can be formed here, that will be equals to n minus m. So n is a 5 minus 3 is equals to 2, means we will be able to form the maximum 2 number of items. It means that we can write those terms as a pi 1 and a pi 2. Okay, it means that from the given variables we can write a t is a function of remaining variables, because this is a dependent variable t. कोणाकोणावरती आहे, n आहे, disk diameter d आहे, density rho is there, and a viscosity mu is there. Okay, that is a total functional relationship we can write here, t n, then d density rho and the viscosity mu is equals to 0. That is a function of, two pi terms. हे सगळे किती pi term मध्ये अरेंज करणार आहे आपण, in two pi terms, that is a function of the pi 1 and pi 2 is equals to 0. Now we got the how many pi terms we will be able to form here. Now from the available variables, from the available all 5 variables, we have to select the repeating variables. Those are going to appear in both the pi terms. So next step I would like to go for, it is a selection of repeating variables. So we are going to select the repeating variables as per the criterion. So what is that criterion? What is the criterion? Selection of repeating variables. We are using the criteria here once again. The criteria says that out of the all repeating variables, whatever number of repeating variables those we are going to consider here, out of that one must represent a geometric property, another must represent the kinematic property, and next one must represent the dynamic. Means at least 3 properties must be there. Which one? Geometric, kinematic, and dynamic. Geometric variables or geometric property means the linear dimension. So for representing a linear dimension, we are going to consider here as a diameter. So diameter represents the linear dimension. So first repeating variable I would like to go for first as a d, first repeating variable. Then a second repeating variable which is going to represent the kinematic variable, or it is also called as a variable which represents the kinematic property, that is a velocity we can say. So for the velocity they had given us an angular velocity, angular speed is given. So I'd like to consider as a n, and a third repeating variable which has to represent the dynamic property, that is a fluid property we can say, that we are going to, here we have the choice for selection of the dynamic property, that is either density or the viscosity. What we will do, we will consider the fluid property as a density. Means those are the 3 repeating variables: linear dimension or a linear variable we can say, geometric variable we can say, sorry, geometric variable, then a kinematic variable, and this is a dynamic variable. Now from these 3 variables we have to form the pi terms. So I'd like to go for a pi 1 now. So pi 1 will have all 3 variables, along with that one of the non-repeating variable. Those 3 are repeating variables, means they are going to appear in both the pi terms, along with the remaining variables. So which variables we have considered? We have considered the n, we have considered the d, and we have considered the density. Means which are remain now? Torque is remained and mu is remained. Means in a one of the pi term the torque will be there and another pi term mu will be there. Okay, so we'll consider now the first pi term. Pi 1 is equals to d n rho. Okay, and again we have to represent the powers for them on their heads. So I have to consider as a power for d as a1, for the n as a b1, and for a rho as a c1. Now along with them there will be the one of the non-repeating variable, that is either torque or the mu. So for the first combination I would like to consider the torque. What I am going to do here, I'm going to consider as a torque and its a power as a 1. Okay, this is our first pi term. Okay, similarly now the second pi term, pi 2, will be combination of repeating variables and one of the non-repeating variable. So repeating variables are d, n, and rho, and a non-repeating variable as a mu. But now here the powers will be different than that of the first one. I have to consider power as a2 for the d, b2 for the n, and a c2 for the rho. This is our second pi term. Okay, now after getting those pi terms, pi 1 and pi 2, what we need to do now, we have to write down a dimensional form. Okay, we have to put up the dimensions for all the variables those are involved here, and this will be the non-dimensional parameter. So here we have to write down the dimensions of 0, 0, means m raised to 0, l raised to 0, t raised to 0. Okay, for left hand side, and right hand side, whatever the parameters those are there, we have to write down the dimensions and raised to the power as a a1, b1, c1 likewise. And for this it's his dimension, that is torque dimension, we have to write the power as a 1. So we'll go for that in a next part now. So now we will write the dimensional form and comparing their powers for a constants, that is a1, b1, c1. So firstly I would like to go for a pi 1 term. For pi 1 term, so dimensions for the pi 1 term, that is for left hand side, it will be l raised to 0, it is non-dimensional, m raised to 0, and t raised to 0, means no dimension we can say, is equals to, now first we had written as a d, so d is having the dimension as a l or l1 I would like to go for, and it's a power as a1. Okay, then second variable which we have considered as a n, it's a dimension as a t raised to -1, it was a rad per second, and its a constant was a b1. Third repeating variable which we have considered, that is a density, its a dimensions were m1 and l raised to -3, or l raised to -3 and m1, you can write in any of the way, raised to c1, and the dimensions of the torque, that is a m1 l square t raised to -2, that is a m1 l square into t, and the remaining one is a t raised to -2. Now this is the dimension form which we have written for the first pi term, it is a pi 1. Now what do we have to do, we have to compare the powers of those l, m, and t to get the values of the constants a1, b1, and c1. Okay, for getting the powers of a1, b1, and c1. So firstly what we will do, we'll go for the c1. Okay, sorry, equating we have to find out the values of a1, b1, and c1 from the given powers of the l, m, t. For the right hand side, left hand side there is a 0. So firstly what we will do, we'll go for the equating the powers for the m, यानी कि जो भी हमारा mass का जो dimension है, we'll compare for the mass. So firstly I would like to go for comparing the powers for m. So left hand side it is a 0. Okay, left hand side is a 0. Now in the first term there is a no there is a the dimension of the mass is not there. पहिल्या टर्म मध्ये मास ही डायमेन्शन नाहीये, एकूण लेंथ आहे. सो काय येणार देतो मग 0 पॉवर 0 आली इनटू द a1. a1 ला मल्टिप्लाइंग काय होणार 0 होणार, कारण तिथं m ही टर्मच नाहीये. सिमिलरली आता प्लस करायचं नंतर ना सेकंड टर्म मध्ये m आहे का, इन द सेकंड टर्म आल्सो m इज नॉट देयर. सो द मल्टिप्लाइंग फॅक्टर विल बी द 0 and it will be the b1 plus Now for the C1, now the m is there with power as a 1. With power as a 1 means multiplying parameter will be a 1 into a C1 plus the constant. Now the constant is having, that is m is having here power as a 1, so plus 1. Okay, so what has become 0? A1 becomes 0, B1 becomes 0. So what we will have now? 0 is equals to C1 plus 1. So you will get the C1 here. That is C1 is equals to minus 1. This is the value of the constant, one of the constant. Out of the three constants, A1, B1, C1. Now, the next one we have to go for the comparing the power of either of L or T, and we have to get the next unknown parameter. So what we'll do, we'll go for the L, comparing the power for the dimension L. So for left hand side, it's a 0 is equals to, now in the first, that is A1, there is a L1. L की पावर 1 है, L का इसका पावर जो है L का लेंथ डायमेंशन का वो 1 है. So multiplying factor will be the 1 into A1 will be there plus, अभी इसमें हमारे लेंथ नहीं है in the second term. So क्या आ जाएगा? Multiplying parameter will be 0 into the B1. We are comparing for the L. So now in this L is there with the power as a -3. Okay, so multiplying parameter will be a -3 into a C1 plus, in this now the power for the L we have to go for, that is a 2, that is a plus 2 I would like to go for. So 0, this will become 0 and this will become 0. So you will get directly the magnitude for the A1, sorry, A1, A will have the power as a 1, so 0 will, this will become as a 0. So what will have? 0 is equals to 1 into A1, that is A1 plus
-3,
right, -3 into a C1 plus
2.
Now
C1 put करायचे.
right, exactly. We have to put the value for the C1. It is a 0 is equals to A1 -3 into C1 is a -1 plus 2. So that is a 0 is equals to A1. Now what will the value here?
5 plus 5
Plus or minus?
plus 5.
Plus 5, exactly.
A1 plus 5.
Right. So A1 is equals to -5. So we got constant A1, we got constant C1. Now what is remain? Constant B1 is remain. So what will be required to do? Will be required to compare the power for a remaining dimension, that is a T. So we'll go for comparing the power for a T. Left hand side is a 0. 0 is equals to, in first term there is a no T, so that will be 0 into A1. In second term now T is there, isn't it? So what will be the multiplying factor here?
-1.
Right.
-1
Right.
into B1.
-1 into B1 plus, अभी थर्ड टर्म में हमारे T है क्या यहाँ पे?
No.
नहीं,
No. 0 हो जाएगा directly. So 0 into T1 I would like to write.
C1
plus कितना आएगा?
-2.
-2.
Right, -2. Therefore 0 is equals to, this will become 0. Then
B1 is -2 होता है.
right. So minus B1 -2. That is a B1 is equals to how much now?
-2. B1
-2.
Right. So we got the powers for the unknown powers, that is A1, B1, C1. Now what do we have to do? We have to put up the powers. We have to put up these powers in our pi term. So I'd like to go for the consideration of the pi term now. So firstly we have to write the pi term in the equation dimension. Sorry, firstly in the variable form we'll go for directly. So therefore a pi1 was a combination of the non-repeating, so repeating variables as a d raised to a1, n raised to b1. Just check it out. Is a d raised to a1, n raised to b1. if we will fails to write the sequence, जो सीक्वेंस हमने पिछली बार लिखा था डायमेंशन लिखते वक्त, वही सीक्वेंस यहाँ पे आना चाहिए। यदि हमारा ये सीक्वेंस गलत हो गया तो पूरा के पूरा इक्वेशन कॉम्बिनेशन हमारा गलत आ जाता है। सो d raised to a1 n raised to b1 into rho raised to c1, density raised to c1 into torque t was there. Now just what we have to do, we have to put up the powers. So pi 1 is equals to d raised to a1 यानी कि कितना है -5 है। So d का पावर आ गया -5 into n का पावर है b1 that is a -2 into the density c1 है, उसका पावर कितना है हमारा
-1
और हमारा c -1 आया है +1 आया रे
-1 आ रहा है।
-1 आया है। ओके, सो -1 into the torque as it is, इसके ऊपर कुछ भी पावर नहीं था। ओके, सो नाउ जस्ट वी हैव टू रीअरेंज इट। सो कैसे रीअरेंज करेंगे, जिसका पावर नेगेटिव है उसको डिनोमिनेटर में ले लेंगे और जिसका पॉजिटिव उसको न्यूमरेटर में रखेंगे। सो दैट विल बिकम pi 1 is equals to t is having the power as a positive, so t upon d raised to 5 into n square into density। ओके, डेंसिटी का पावर -1 है, यानी कि नीचे आने के बाद कितना हो जाएगा, वो 1 हो जाएगा। दिस इज अवर फर्स्ट फंक्शनल रिलेशनशिप। किसका आएगा, आ गया हमारा pi 1 का आ गया। नाउ लाइकवाइज वी हैव टू गो फॉर द pi 2। ओके, after this we have to consider the pi 2। okay, so we'll consider now the pi 2 term। consider a pi 2 term। so pi 2 term, I would like to go for firstly the functional relationship which we have written therein। so pi 2 is equals to repeating variables as it is d raised to a2 n raised to b2 density raised to c2 into the mu is there। now in the dimensional form we have to go for। so in the dimension form it is having lmt all the dimensions as a 0। so l raised to 0 m raised to 0 t raised to 0। यदि आपका यहाँ पे सीक्वेंस रॉन्ग हो रहा था तरी तो भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। ओके, एक पाठीमागे पुढे झालं तरी काही हरकत नाही है। so that is equals to d was having the dimension as a l, it's raised to a2 into the n is having the power as a t raised to -1 raised to b2 into the density, it is having the dimensions as a m1 l raised to -3, m1 and l raised to -3 raised to a c3 into the mu, it is a viscosity is having the dynamic viscosity is having the dimensions as a m1 l raised to -1 or t raised to -1। okay, now for the constants a2 b2 sorry a3 a2 b2 and c2 we have to compare the powers of the dimensions and we have to equate them to the 0, that is with respect to the non-dimensions parameter we can say, and we have to find out the values for them। so from this equation we are finding that for the m is there in the two dimensions 1 and 2। okay, as like a previous one we'll go for, if in during and solving these equations, if you are considering firstly as a l, then as a m, then a t, then also it works, means in that some of the cases we used to get that equations and then we have to put up the values and we have to go for। so what we'll do, we'll go for firstly for the m, comparing the powers for the m।
equal to, sir, c2 is equal to -1,
c2 equals to -1, exactly, that's the correct। so power for the m I'm equating now। so left hand side is equals to 0 is equals to first term a2 into 0 plus b2 में भी b2 मध्ये आपला m नाही आहे, so that will be a 0 plus याच्यामध्ये आहे आपल्याकडे c2
1
into 1 right plus 1, that is a 0 is equals to c2 plus 1, that is a c2 is equals to -1। so after getting the value of the c1 sorry constant as a c2, now we'll go for the b2 and a2। so for getting the power of the b2 and a2 as like a previous one, we'll go for firstly comparing the powers for l। okay, So next line, I'd like to go for the comparing the power for L. So left hand side as usual 0 is equals to पहिल्यामध्ये आहे आपल्याकडे L, power 1 आहे त्याचं. So 1 into A2 plus second मध्ये L आहे का नाहीये, that will be directly 0 into A2 B2 sorry 0 into B2 plus third one
minus
minus
into C2
minus 3 into C2 right plus
plus minus 1.
plus of minus 1 will be there. Great. Now simplify it. That is a 0 is equals to A2 minus
Minus 3C2 minus 1.
right. Put up the value A2 ची value आपल्याकडे आहे का आता?
C2 चे आहे sir minus 1.
Right. C2 ची value minus 1 आहे. So we'll go for. So 0 is equals to A2 minus 3 into minus 1 minus 1. So 0 is equals to A3. What is the value now?
Minus 2. Plus 2 येते sir.
Right. Plus 2 will be there. Minus 3 into minus 1 as a plus 3. Plus 3 minus 1 as a plus 2. That is a A3 is equals to
minus 2. A2 sir A3 नाही.
sorry A2. Sorry A2. This is A2. जर का आपल्याकडे third pi term असती तर ते आपल्याकडे A3 आलं असतं. So now we got the value for the A2 also. Now what else remain? B2 is remain. Okay, so for B2 will be required to compare the power for the remaining variable, that is a remaining basic or fundamental dimension, that is a T. Okay, so we are going to compare now power for T for a time T. So left hand side as usual as a 0 is equals to A पहिल्यामध्ये A2 मध्ये T आहे का?
नाही sir.
So that will be 0 directly. So 0
0.
A2 plus दुसऱ्यात आहे का?
Minus 1 into B2
Right. Next.
plus 0 into C2
Right. Next.
plus minus 1
Plus of minus.
minus 1. B2 is equal to minus 1.
Therefore, B2 is equals to minus 1. I will have to go for another one step. 0 is equals to minus minus
2 1.
बरोबर का? Minus B2 minus 1 बरोबर आहे ना?
हो sir.
That is a B2 is equals to minus 1. Now put up the powers in the given equation. That is for this equation which we have assumed as just 2. Therefore, pi 2 term which we had written, it becomes or it implies 2. Just a minute. Therefore, equation 2 implies pi 2 is equals to d raised to A2. A2 यानी कि minus 2. Okay. Into n raised to B2. B2 यानी कि minus 1. Then density raised to C2. C2 is a minus 1 into mu is there. That is pi 2 term will be equals to taking minus negative powers at the denominator and positive powers at the numerator. So it will be a mu upon
D square n raised to 1 raised to 1.
right into density raised to 1. So this is the functional form for the pi 2. I would have to go for once again this is a modified pi 2 term or a second equation I would have to go for. Now at the last part we need to do, we have to go for the establishing the function. Now in the pi 1 we have the torque. In the pi 1 we have the torque which is the dependent variable. पुनः dependent है किसके ऊपर dependent है? ये बाकी के सब variables पे dependent है. So what we will do now for expressing the equation in terms of the torque. Okay, in terms of the torque we are going to correlate the above pi terms. यानी कि क्या आ जाएगा? Pi 1 will be equals to function of pi 2. Pi will be equals to or pi 1 is a function of the pi 2. Now just what we have to do, we have to put up the parameters therein. Okay, so I have to go for, that is pi1 is equals to a function of pi2. That is now pi1 is a function of a pi2. Therefore pi1 term, that is a t upon d raised to 5 n square into density raised to 1, or a density as it is equals to, or it is a function of pi2. Now pi2 is a mu upon d square of the diameter into the n raised to 1 into the density raised to 1. Now what do we have to do? We have to go for a torque only. We have to go for this dependent variable on those remaining variables. Therefore rearranging for the torque, so t will be equals to, here it was in a denominator, this terms will be in a numerator here, multiplying them. That is a d raised to 5 n square into the density power 1. I would have to keep as it is a function of mu, that is the second pi term, that is a mu divided by d square into n into rho. Is this was the correct? Is this was the same? This is the same as what was asked to show. आपल्याला जे प्रूव्ह करायचं त्याच्यावर तसंच आहे का इक्वेशन बघा हे. Just check it. Is it the same one?
Same, sir.
Yeah, means we have proved the functional relationship which was asked to prove herein with the help of Buckingham pi theorem. For that purpose, what we did, we had firstly written all the dimensions. I will have to go for stepwise. We had written firstly, we have listed all the variables, we have listed their units, then we have listed their dimensions. So here number of variables were 5, so n is equals to 5. Then from all the dimensions, those we have written here, we found that how many fundamental dimensions are there. So here out of the fundamental dimensions LMT, that is 3 fundamental dimensions are there, and all 3 are existing in combination or in a separate form, we can say. So I had written here m is equals to 3. Then for finding number of pi terms, that is the number of independent, the number of the non-dimensional groups, those we will be able to form here, that is equals to number of available variables, total number of variables minus number of fundamental dimensions, that is n minus m, that is a 5 minus 3. So 2 pi terms, that is a pi1 and pi2, we will be able to establish here. So I had written here as a t as a function of the all variables, that is remaining 4 variables. It is a function of all those variables, dependent, independent is equals to 0, and there is a function of pi1 and pi2 is equals to 0. After that, what we did, we have selected the repeating variables. And for selection of the repeating variables, we have used the criterion which is given to us. That is, the repeating out of the repeating variables, total repeating variables, one should represent the geometric property, another should represent the kinematic property, and another remaining should represent the dynamic property. So I consider d as a geometric property representing variable, n as a variable representing the kinematic property, it is a velocity, and last one, that is a fluid property, it is a dynamic property, that is we have considered density. Here we had a choice about the density and the mu, but we have considered as a density. Okay, so those are the repeating variables. Now the remaining variables are only t and mu. Means with these 3 repeating variables, we will have the combination of a t in one of the pi term, and in another pi term we will have the combination of the mu. That we have written as equation number 1 and equation number 2, along with the unknown powers, that is a1 b1 c1 for first pi term, and for second pi term a2 b2 c2. Now the next step, what we have to do, we have to find out the constants a1 b1 c1, and for that purpose we have written the dimensions of all the variables those are involved in each and every pi term. In the first pi term, the dimensions of the pi term, that is already a non-dimensional parameter, so its powers we have written as a 0, means no dimension we can say. Then for the powers for the remaining variables, we have written over here, and then we did the compared the power for L, M and T. Firstly, we have compared the power for the m, that is the dimension of a dimension of the mass, that is m. So for the m, here is a 0. Here in the first one is having a 0, no m is involved. Also in a b1, no m is involved. So a1 and b1 we have multiplied by a 0. Okay. Then for the c1, in the C1, there was m with the power as a m, power as a 1. So we have considered the multiplying factor as a 1 and constant here as a 1. So we got a C1 plus 1. So C1 is equals to -1. Likewise, we have compared the power for L and T, and we have calculated the A1, B1, C1 as unknowns. Then after getting those values of the A1, B1, C1, we have just quoted the values in our pi term raised to those physical quantities, and we have established a relationship for the pi1. Similarly, we did the for the pi2 term, and we have established the pi2 term also, relationship between the variables those we have considered in the pi2 term. And at the last, we have in the pi1 as a dependent variable torque. So we want to establish the relationship of this torque with respect to the other variables. So for that purpose, we have written the relation as a pi1 is a function of the pi2. Pi1 is a function of a pi2. So pi1 t by d raised to 5 n square density is equals to function of a pi2, that is a mu by d square and rho. That is a torque tau is equals to d raised to 5 n square density is a function of mu upon d square into the n into the density. Okay, this is the thing which we did by using the Buckingham pi theorem or Buckingham pi method. Okay, now after this application of the Buckingham pi theorem, we are going to start for the next part, that is non-dimensional numbers and their significance. So can you tell me any one of the non-dimensional number which is used in our fluid flow? Non-dimensional numbers and their significance. I asked one of the non-dimensional number. Anyone? Significance means where they are used and how they are efficient. So various non-dimensional numbers we had seen. There is a Proud number we had seen, Reynolds number we had seen. Okay, I'm concentrating only on those two numbers because they are there for our syllabus. Sorry, for the further applications here in our syllabi. So non-dimensional numbers are those numbers. Those are not having any units. Means whenever you are combining the various variables, then you are getting a non-dimensional parameters. Means suppose that you are going to divide the length by diameter. Then in that case, the both are having the same dimension, L1, L1. Okay, so numerator is L1, denominator is L raised to L1. So they will get cancels. So likewise, we used to have various non-dimensional parameters or numbers. Those are derived by the various scientists for the applications of the various flow phenomena. That flow phenomenon or the flow may be under the pressure, that is due under the flow through the pipe, we can say. That may be the flow over the weirs or the spillways or the open channel flow, reverse stream, etc., etc. So for analysis purpose of the fluid flow, number of non-dimensional numbers are developed and they are significantly used for the further dimensional analysis flow. So how they have developed? So by considering the influence, of the various forces acting on the flowing fluid, those numbers are established. And as we are knowing that whenever there is a fluid flow, there exists a inertia force. ज्या वेळेस fluid flow असतो त्या वेळेस compulsory inertia force राहतो. So what is that inertia force? So as per the Newton's second law, we used to say that the inertia force F is equals to m into a, mass into acceleration, isn't it? It is a rate of change of the velocity of a particular body in the direction of the applied force. Means momentum change used to take place. Means whenever the some quantity of the fluid used to flow from one section to the another section. Suppose that we have a canal or the channel and the fluid is flowing through this over it with a depth as a y, and at the sum of the elevations, at the sum of the point, the elevation is changing of that canal bed. So in that case, whatever the mass is involved in that particular section, we can say its velocity also goes on changing. As the velocity goes on changing but the mass remains constant, means mass into velocity change with respect to the time is nothing but the mass into velocity, nothing but the momentum, and it changes with respect to the time. And that rate of change of momentum for the open channel flow takes place in the direction of the slope. means it is to takes place in the direction of the component of the weight of that mass which is involved in the phenomenon. And if you suppose that here the mass m is there, so the component of the mass along this tangential direction or along the x direction, we can say it is a m cos theta. But whenever the gravity is to act, then we used to consider as a w, then w cos theta we can say is the component of the weight which is a driving force here, which is due to the gravity. Okay, means in this case we can say the momentum is changing in the direction of the gravitational force. And whenever the flow is to exist, in that case the that inertia force, that is a product of mass and acceleration, used to exist. Mass and acceleration used to exist, means with respect to the inertia force Fi, all other forces used to be there. यानी कि जब जब हमारा फ्लूइड का फ्लो होने वाला है, तब तब not only the inertia force, but along with the inertia force, the other forces such as viscous force, pressure force, gravity force, elastic force, surface tension force, they used to be there. But out of them, apart from the inertia force, which force is a dominating one? यानी कि out of the all listed forces, about 6 forces I have listed here, I would have to go for once again. Inertia force Fi, we used to write. Gravity force Fg. Viscous force I would like to go for Fv. Then pressure force I would like to go for Fp. Then shear stress I would like to go for is Fs, and elastic force as a Fe, that is bulk modulus of elasticity we can say. So total about and around about 6 forces I have enlisted here. It may happen that other is to be there. So out of these 6 forces, one has to be there, that is the inertia has to be there. That it's a momentum is going to change, that flowing fluid जो भी है उसका momentum बदलने वाला ही है. वो पाइप में फ्लो होने दो, नहीं तो ओपन चैनल में होने दो, नहीं तो कहीं भी होने दो, its momentum is going to change, its velocity is going to change, and its momentum is going to change ultimately. So along with this inertia force, these all forces in combination, or one of them or two of them or all used to exist. म्हणजे काय होणार आहे, इनर्शिया फोर्स बरोबर ही शिल्लक राहिलेली सर्व फोर्सेस असू शकतात, किंवा त्याच्यापैकी एखादा असू शकतो, किंवा कॉम्बिनेशननी असू शकतात. मग ह्या सर्वांच्या कॉम्बिनेशन मध्ये आफ्टर इनर्शिया फोर्स वन ऑफ द फोर्स यूज टू बी अ डॉमिनेटिंग फोर्स. डॉमिनेटिंग म्हणजे काय करणारा, तो सगळे फेनॉमेनन जास्तीत जास्त गव्हर्न करणारा असू शकतो. सपोज दॅट देअर एक्झिस्ट अ ग्रॅव्हिटी फोर्स इन द as a dominating force along with the inertia force, means the inertia force and the gravity force here we are considering as a dominating force. Then by considering the inertia force and the gravity force, the Proud has established a non-dimensional number. The great scientist, the Proud, has established a non-dimensional number. How they have established? So that first that non-dimensional number I would like to go for, it is a Proud number. So how that Proud number used to be there, or what is that? So Proud number is a ratio of square root of inertia force to the gravity force. Means I would like to go for a Proud number as a ratio of square root of inertia force to the gravity force. Now the inertia force, if you want to go for, so inertia force Fi is nothing but the mass into acceleration, which I have written over here. So mass is the density into the volume, okay, and acceleration is nothing but the velocity per unit time. So volume per unit time is nothing but the discharge. So density into the discharge into the velocity, and discharge is nothing but the again area into velocity. So density into the area into the square of the velocity, that is a rho AV square. So I would like to go for the inertia force as a rho AV square, where A is the area of the fluid, rho is the density of the flowing fluid, and V is the average velocity of the flowing fluid. At the same time, if you want to go for inertia force, then inertia force is the mass into the acceleration due to gravity. So I'd have to go for gravitational force. Inertia force already we have calculated as a rho AV square. Fg is equals to mass into the G, m into G. Okay, so if you want to go for the analysis, okay, so mass in terms of the density and volume, density into the volume into the G. Okay, then volume we can write area into the length, so density into area into the length into G. So I have to put up over here. It is a density, area, length into the G. So density and area gets cancels. So what else remains here? That is a V square divided by L into G, and we used to write as a V divided by LG. But in case of the pipe flow phenomenon, whenever we used to come across, then instead of the L we used to consider the D. याला ऐवजी आपण काय कन्सिडर करतो, आपण D consider करतो. So this is the first number, first non-dimensional number, that is a Froude number, V by root Lg. Now if you go for the dimensional form, then we have the unit for the velocity as a meter per second. Okay, then unit for the length as a meter, and gravity as a meter per second square. That will be in root, that is equals to meter per second upon meter into meter as a meter square upon second square. If we take the square it, then will be meter per second. Meter cancels to each other, seconds cancels to each other. So it is not having any unit. If there is no unit, means there is no dimension. So as it is not having any dimension, that is a L0, M0 and T0, that's why it's considered, or it is called as a non-dimensional number. So first one is we have seen here as a Froude number. Then the second non-dimensional number, which is used most of the times, that is about the Reynolds number. So Reynolds number, now which forces it is to include, or which predominating forces he has considered the inertia force and viscous force. So Reynolds number we can define is a ratio of the inertia force to the viscous force. Inertia force to the viscous force. So ratio of the inertia to the viscous force is nothing but the Reynolds numbers. Means in a Reynolds number, along with the inertia force as a dominating force, another force which is considered is the viscous force. So in the form of the physical dimensions, physical parameters or variables, we can say inertia force is a rho a v square, whereas a viscous this viscous force, that is a Fv, is a due to the shear stress and area. It is a product of a shear stress and area. Shear stress is a tau into the area as a. Okay, so area gets cancels. So what else remains? Density into v square divided by a shear stress. We are knowing that shear stress is a mu in terms of the Newtonian fluid, or Newton's law of the viscosity, we can say. We are knowing that it is directly proportional to the rate of shear strain. It is a mu into the phi by L. I am writing directly. It is a du by dl. So du by dy is there. So directly I am writing here as a phi by L. That is a u represents the velocity and y represents the dimension, that is L. Okay, phi by L. Then rearranging it, one of the velocity gets cancels. One of the velocity gets cancels. So what we will have? Density into a velocity upon a mu rho v by mu into the length will be there. That length is going to be there in rho vl by mu. This is for the our open channel flow. Now for the flow through the pipes, where the more of the number of the times we used to consider the Reynolds number. Okay, because the viscous force used to be therein. Okay, so in that case, instead of the length, we used to consider as a d, as a diameter of the pipe. So it becomes as a rho vd by mu. And if you consider the viscosity, that is a kinematic viscosity as a mu, then we are knowing the relationship between the kinematic viscosity and dynamic viscosity as a mu is equals to rho into nu. Okay, that is a nu is equals to mu by rho, or rho by mu, whatever it may be. Okay, just rearranging those terms, we used to get the relationship for the Reynolds number as a Re is equals to Vd by nu, either Vd by nu or a rho Vd by mu. This is the Reynolds number. So Reynolds number correlates inertia force and viscous force, whereas the Froude number correlates inertia force and a gravity force. These two numbers we have seen. We'll go for the next non-dimensional number, that is the Euler's number. Euler's number, E-U-L-E-R, Euler's number. It is written as a E suffix U. Euler's number. So Euler's number is the ratio of square root of inertia force to the pressure force. Believe me that in each and every non-dimensional number will have the inertia force, means the relationship between the inertia force with respect to the other forces. So the Euler number correlates the inertia force to the pressure force, and after simplifying it, we used to get the relation as density into the v square, that is a velocity square, divided by p, that is the Euler's number. And once again, if you go for the dimensional form in terms of the units, we'll get once again it as a non-dimensional number. Number of the times what we used to do, we used to take this v square as a outside, and it is a simplified like this: v square divided by root of p upon rho. Means rho will be the numerator, but it is considered as a p by rho. And the reciprocal of the Euler number, the reciprocal of the Euler number means 1 by Euler number, it is considered as an Newton number. It is considered as a Newton number, means we can write the Newton number is equals to, that's a reciprocal in the range kind of. So there is not the velocity square, it will be only v, power will be the 1. Means when we are going to take out of the square root, so it will be p divided by rho divided by v. That is called as a Newton number. So Euler number relates inertia force to the pressure force, means it is a ratio of a square root of inertia force to the pressure force, and after simplifying it, we used to get the relation as v upon root of p by rho, or rho v square upon p. And the reciprocal of the Euler number is nothing but the Newtonian number. So Newton number is nothing but the root of p by rho upon p. Okay. So the Euler number is important in the flow problems where the pressure gradient exists. Pressure gradient exists, that is the flow through the pipes, water hammer, floor, the orifice, mouthpieces, sluice ways, etc., etc. This is about the significance of the Euler number, means where it is used. Now the next number, that is the fourth one I would like to go for, that is a match number. It is denoted by a capital 1. Match number denoted by m. So it is going to relate now the inertia force with respect to the another one force, and that force, that another force which is getting related with the inertia force in a square root is the elastic force Fe. Means the match number is a ratio of square root of the inertia force to the elastic force. So elastic force we are knowing, that is a elastic stress into the area, and elastic stress is nothing but the bulk modulus of elasticity. Okay, so I would like to write in a short, that is a elastic force is equals to bulk modulus of elasticity K into the area. So area is nothing but the L square. So K L square we can write, that is a match number m is equals to inertia force we are knowing rho a v square, okay, divided by K into L square, that to be in a root. Okay, area we are considered as L square. Now after simplifying it, means area A will be L square, so A and L square gets cancels, and what else we have the remaining terms as a density into the velocity square divided by a K. Again it is a simplified as in the square root only, a v square divided by a K by rho, where K by rho, this K by rho indicates the velocity of the sound in a fluid. Okay, see that K by rho, it is a bulk modulus of elasticity upon density, indicates the velocity of the sound in a fluid. Okay, which type of the fluid is considered, means suppose that we have considered as an water time being, then the velocity of the flow in a water will be, sorry, velocity of the sound in a water will be equals to bulk modulus of elasticity of the water divided by a density of the water. And it is a, and the and the K by rho is considered as an C, that is a velocity of the sound. So we can write the match number m is equals to v square as a, it will be the v, okay, or in the root I would like to go for a v square divided by a C. This is our match number. And the ratio of the inertia force to the elastic force is called as a Cauchy's number. inertia force to the elastic force. Here we have considered as a reciprocal, the reciprocal, square of the square of this match number we can write as an Cauchy's number. Okay, so match number, if you are considering its significance, then match number is important in the compressible flow problems, where that bulk modulus of elasticity is to be play an main role. That is problems involving the compression of the fluids at a high velocities, such as the velocity of the flow in the pipes or the motion of the high speed projectiles, missiles, etc., etc. In those cases, we need to go for the analyze such type of the models, or for the study purpose, the non-dimensional number which is involved is nothing but the match number. And the last one which we are going to consider over here, it is a fifth one, that is the Weber's number. Weber number, it is denoted as a WE. So Weber number, now also it will be the ratio in the square root only of the inertia force and the another force which is involved, that is a surface tension force. So Weber's number is a ratio of the inertia force Fi to the surface tension force as Fs. So inertia force to surface tension force in a square root is nothing but the Weber's number. So now inertia force, we are knowing that is a rho a v square or rho l square v square, and surface tension force, we are knowing that surface tension force Fs is equals to surface tension into the length, that is a sigma into the length L. So if you go for the Weber's number, then we will have the relation as a Weber number is equals to rho a v square divided by a sigma L, and that will be whole terms will be in a square root, isn't it? So area will have the L square, so one of the L will get cancelled here, and we'll have the ratio as rho L v square divided by the surface tension sigma. Again, it is rearranged like this. It is equals to phi is taken as outside, so phi upon a square root of a sigma upon rho L. Okay, and the Weber number, the significance or the importance of the Weber number is in the flow problems where the surface tension plays an important role. That is the capillary movement of the liquids. Okay, for example, capillarity in soils. So the water used to rise in the soil due to the capillarity. Whenever we are going to insert a small tube in a water or any liquid, then also it is to show the capillary rise or capillary fall. So in such problems, we need to go for the Weber number. Again, flow of the blood in the veins and arteries and the liquid atomization. In such cases, we need to go for the Weber number. So here we can say that all the numbers, those are involved here, which we have considered for the fluid flow problems or fluid flow phenomena, all are relating the inertia force to the one of the dominating force involved in that fluid flow phenomenon. And only the Reynolds number is not having the square root. All other forces are having the square root of the ratios. Only Reynolds number is not having the square root of the ratios of the forces, but all other are having the ratios in the square root. So I would have to summarize now once again. So first one which we had seen, that is a Thought number. It is the ratio of the square root of the inertia force to the gravity force. Then Reynolds number, it is a ratio of the inertia force to the viscous force. Then Euler number, it is a ratio of the square root of inertia force to the pressure force. Match number, it is a ratio of the square root of the inertia force to the elastic force. And the Weber number is the ratio of square root of the inertia force to the surface tension force. The next part in the dimensional analysis, dimensional and model analysis that we are going to discuss is about the model and prototype. Here we are used to have an application of the model analysis and dimensional analysis. Okay, so the model is nothing but the replica of the existing structure as we are from the civil engineering. So I can say that the replica which we are preparing for actual structure, that is nothing but the model, and existing structure, that is nothing but the prototype. For example, in various competitions and etc., we used to prepare the model of the fort, model of the big buildings, or model of the various structures, dam, bridge, etc., culverts, etc. So those are nothing but the replica of the existing structure. So that is nothing but the model. For example, during an AutoCAD class also, we used to prepare the a plan of a building. Okay, in a 3D, if you are preparing, then it is nothing but the model of the actual building which you are going to prepare, or which will be there in a existing on a ground. Or if it is existing on the ground, and if you are going to take its a dimension, all those things, and preparing in AutoCAD software, then it is nothing but the model. Again, for the analysis of the various forces and all those things, we used to use the various softwares, that will be ETAB, etc. So those softwares, what used to do, what they used to analyze the behavior of the various elements of the structure under the various forces and their combination. It means for the study of the various structures under the application of the various forces, we need to go for the preparation of their model. We need to go for analysis of those models under the application of those forces which are going to exactly act on those prototypes or on those structures. So to facilitate that, whatever those replicas those we are making, those replicas may be the small in the scale or in a large in a scale. Those replicas are considered as models. In each and every time, models are not the smaller than the prototypes. It may happen that the models are in a having the dimensions as a large than that of the prototype. For example, wristwatch, etc. Here we used to need to prepare its a model of a larger dimension than that of the actual structure or actual machine, we can say. So that is about the model and a prototype. Means we can summarize here, the models are the replica of the actual structure or actual machine. Then for what purpose we need to go for the model? That is what is the purpose behind the construction of the model, or what is the purpose behind the construction of the model of any machine? So main motto behind is that to analyze firstly, means before getting that a machine in a market, or before manufacturing of that machine and checking its performance directly, and if there exists some faults, we can say, in that machine, then it becomes too much difficult to modify it. So for that purpose, or to overcome that those difficulties, we can say, we need to firstly analyze that machine in the terms of its replica, that is the model. Means before launching any machine or before producing any machine, firstly we need to go for its model. We have to analyze its behavior under the various circumstances. For example, suppose that you want to go for any vehicle, and you want to launch that vehicle. Okay, it means that the vehicle is going to run on a road. It has to come across the various surfaces of the road. That may be the bitumen, that may be the tar, that may be the rubber, that may be the embankment, etc. So in such cases, what happens during and it's a performance, that loading conditions will be the different one. Maybe you are using the vehicle, the person is going to use as only one person is going to use, or it is going to that vehicle will be shared between the two persons, load carried by that vehicle. So under that various loading, at various speeds, what should be its consumption of the fuel, how much amount of the vibrations it is going to damp, how much speed it is going to give us. Those things are required to be analyzed before its production. Because if you are going to produce it and if you are going to launch in the market, and if the two persons are sitting over that vehicle and they are traveling, then in that case, if it is going to consume a high fuel, or it is not going to take that much power, release that much power, then in that case it becomes too much difficult for that manufacturer to overcome such type of the difficulties. So before coming across those difficulties over a manufactured product, we need to go for analysis of that product. And for analysis of that product, we used to go for the model of that vehicle. We used to check the behavior or the performance of that vehicle under the various application of the loads. And if there is to have any change, if there needs to require any change in its dimension, so it's parts, then we used to go for easily the changing the dimensions in the model. And then those models, those are performing the best, they will be reflected in terms of the prototype, and they will be launched in the market to a manufacturing. It means that now after that there will not be the faults in the that particular vehicle. So likewise, to overcome such things, we need to go for firstly the models of the various structures. Same thing is to happen in the civil engineering also. For example, if you want to go for a construction of the dam or say a weir, then in that case it is required firstly to analyze that what will be the submergence area, what will be the flooding, or what will be the flooding, how much amount of the quantity of the water will be get stored. If suppose that you are going to construct the dam, say for an storage of the 1 TMS of the water time being, then what should be its height? We need to analyze all the things. We need to go for its dimensions. We need to prepare its model firstly. We need to analyze its behavior under the application of the hydrostatic force, hydrodynamic force, then uplift force, then earthquake, and all those things. So to avoid the failure of the dam in a future due to the overtapping or due to the earthquake erosion, etc., and huge wasting of the huge amount of the money over that for the repair and maintenance, firstly you will go for the study of that model of the dam at the site where you are going to locate. It is so much feasible to avoid the huge money there. Means the initially if you analyze the structure or the behavior of that structure under the application of the various forces or the various conditions, we can say, then it is so much easy, and it will be a worthwhile, it will be worthy, we can say, okay, in terms of the amount which you are going to use there for its construction. Okay, that is about the model and a prototype. Means after getting the results of the model of that dam, that from the test results, those can be utilized to obtain the information of the prototype. Means by using the scale ratios or using the whatever the reduction of the dimensions which you have gone through, by just amplifying it, just magnifying this, magnifying that those results will be get directly captured, or those results will be directly used for the prototype, that is for the actual dam or actual vehicle, we can say. So along with the models and prototype, now after discussion over the model and a prototype, then some of the times while studying of the model or preparation of the model, we need to go for the different types of the scales. We need to go for the different types of the scale. That scale may be the your length scale, width scale, then force scale, discharge scale, etc., etc. That part also we are going to discuss. One of the important parameter which we is to consider, it is about the similitude. The similitude is nothing but the similarity. Similitude is nothing but the similarity, and number of similarities are used for the consideration or for the checking is the two events or the two objects are similar or not. Two objects, we can say they are similar to each other. If or we used to say that objects are exactly having the same behavior, then in that case we can say that that is a similitude. We can say that a similitude. Okay, so for models and prototypes, for models we used to consider the three types of the similarities to check the similarities are existing or not. So those three similarities are the geometric similarity, kinematic similarity, and dynamic similarities. So I'd like to go for the heading as a similitude. And similitude is nothing but the similarity. So similarity we are going to check in terms of the geometric similarity. First one I would like to consider as a geometric similarity. Second similarity in terms of the kinematic similarity, and a third similarity is about the dynamic similarity. So now we'll discuss that what is meant by geometric similarity, what is meant by dynamic similarity, and what is meant by kinematic similarity. So in the previous session we had seen that in the repeating variables, those repeating variables, one must be geometric variable, one must be the kinematic, and third one must be the dynamic. Okay, so in that case we had seen that what is meant by a geometric variable, what is meant by kinematic variable, and what is meant by dynamic variable. So geometric similarity or the geometric variables, those are involved. Firstly I would have to go for variables. Those are nothing but the length, area, volume, etc. Those are the geometric variable. So we can say that there exists a geometric similarity between the model and prototype. between the model and prototype if the ratios of the corresponding length, ratio, area ratio, volume ratio of both model and prototype are the same one or equal. Okay, then in that case we can say that the model and prototype is having a geometric similarity. It means that the geometric similarity exists between the model and prototype if the ratios of corresponding length, dimension in the model and the prototype are the same one or equal one. If the geometric similarity exists, or suppose that there exists a geometric similarity, then it's called as a geometrically a similar model. Now for the length scale ratio, what is the length scale ratio? Length scale ratio is written as LR, indicates the length scale ratio, and it is written as a length of a model to the length of a prototype, or length of a prototype upon a length of a model. Here we are going to consider as a length of model by length of a prototype. If a geometric similarity exists between the model and prototype, then length scale ratio, that is the length of model by length of prototype, must be equals to or the same one, we can say, that is again the width of model divided by width of prototype, and the depth or the width, we can say, width, length, width and height. So D I'm considering as a, for the channels we used to consider as a depth. So depth of a model to the depth of the prototype, etc. They must be a same ratio. Means the whatever the scale ratio which is used for the length, it must be same as that of the width, and it may be the same for the depth. For example, if you have used a length scale ratio as a say as a 1:20, means in the prototype, means the actual dam is having the length as a 20 meter, then prototype used to have the length as a 1 meter. Then similar scale we have to adapt for the its width also. Means width of that dam will be a actual dam, we can say actual dam will be a 20 meters, and the width of the model will be a 1 meter. Similarly, the depth of the water if you consider, okay, length, width and height we will consider now, length, width and height. So height, same ratio will be there, 20:1, means for a 20 meter height we are considering 1 meter height in your model. Then we can say that this model is having the geometric similarity, and this ratio is considered as a length scale ratio, the scale ratio for the length, that is called as a length scale ratio. Okay, similarly for the length we had seen, for the area, AR will be equals to area of the model divided by area of the proto, that is a length of model into the width of a model divided by a length of a proto into the width of a prototype. That we can say length and width both are having the same dimension as L, so that is L square. Okay, L square of a model divided by L square of the proto, that is written as LR square. Means area scale ratio is equals to length scale ratio. Area scale ratio is equals to length scale ratio. Means if is given that the model is a geometrically similar and its a length scale ratio is a say 1:20, then what will be its area scale ratio? Just we have to squaring that. That will be your length scale ratio. Similarly, volume scale ratio, it is a VR. Volume scale ratio is nothing but the length into width into height. Length, width and height तीनों का product आ जाएगा. So that will be equals to LR cube, and की length into width into height of the model divided by length into width into depth or the height of the prototype, that is LR cube, we can say. Okay, this is about the geometric similarity. Now next one is the kinematic similarity. So kinematic similarity means the similarity of a velocity, acceleration. So what is that? A velocity, acceleration of a flowing fluid in a prototype and a model at each and every point. And कि मान लो कि for a model and prototype you are preparing the model of a river, then in that case whatever the velocity will be there at a particular depth in the model, after replicating that dimension, after getting a scale ratio, the same velocity must be there at that depth in your actual river. That is a prototype, we can say. Okay, means we can say that the velocity and acceleration of a flowing fluid in a prototype and model at a corresponding point must be the same, and it exists if, and to have the existence of the kinematic similarity, the existence of the geometric similarity is a must. If geometric similarity exists, then and only then the kinematic similarity exists. Otherwise, the kinematic similarity doesn't exist. Okay, so for complete kinematic similarity, we can say not only the magnitude of the velocity and acceleration, but also the direction of them is a must. Means the direction of the velocity in the model and direction of the acceleration in the model must be same as that of the direction of the velocity and acceleration in the prototype, that is actual river which you have considered. So the useful scale ratios related to the kinematic similarity are the time scale ratio, that is called as a TR, that is nothing but the time in the model divided by time in a proto. Then velocity scale ratio, VR, that is a velocity in the model divided by velocity in the prototype, that is velocities we are knowing, length per unit time. Okay, so that is a LR upon a TR of a model, means length scale ratio upon the time scale ratio of the model divided by length scale ratio upon the time scale ratio of the prototype. Okay, means in general we can say that it is a ratio of the length scale and the time scale. LR of model by LR of proto means length scale ratio. Time of a model by time of a proto, that will be the time scale ratio. This is about the velocity scale ratio in the kinematic similarity. Then acceleration scale ratio, that is a AR. So AR is nothing but the velocity per unit time. Okay, velocity per unit time. Velocity we are knowing LR. LR by TR into 1 by TR will be there. Acceleration is a velocity per unit time. Velocity scale ratio we are knowing LR by TR divided by again time scale ratio will be there. That is a length scale ratio upon the square of the time scale ratio. This is nothing but our acceleration scale ratio. And the last scale ratio for the kinematic similarity, that is a discharge scale ratio. It is a QR. Discharge scale ratio is nothing but the discharge passing through the model divided by discharge passing through the prototype. Discharge we are knowing, it is measured in meter cube per second. That is a length scale ratio. It's a cube for the model divided by length scale ratio of the prototype. Okay, so LR square, LR cube divided by, or LM we can write, length of the model cube divided by a time is meter per second divided by the proto corresponding dimensions of the proto, LP and TP, that is equals to, now LM by LP is there, means length scale ratio, that is a LR cube divided by time scale ratio, that is a TR. It means LR cube by a TR means length scale ratio cube upon a time scale ratio represents the discharge. Means if it is given to us as a length scale ratio and time scale ratio, then in that case we will be able to find out the discharge scale ratio required for that model or a prototype, model and prototype, for having a kinematic similarity. As we have stated that in a kinematic similarity, or to have a kinematic similarity, the geometric similarities are must. Geometric similarities must, because here the length is involved. Here we are finding that the length is involved. Length, isn't it? As length parameter is involved, length scale ratio is involved, which is there existing in our geometric similarity. So that's why we are saying that the geometric similarities are must in a kinematic similarity. Then the next similarity, it is a dynamic similarity. So dynamic similarity is the similarity between the forces and their nature, that is a direction we can say. If the forces those are acting on the model and the prototype are having the same magnitudes, we can say same directions, then in that case we can say that the there exists a dynamic similarity between the model and prototype. Means the dynamic similarity is said to exist between the model and prototype if the ratios of the corresponding forces acting at a different points or at a corresponding points in a model and a prototype are having a same magnitude and a direction, then that is called as a dynamic similarity. Okay, their ratios must be the same one. And for existence of the dynamic similarity, the kinematic similarity and the geometric similarities are must one. Means whenever we used to say that there exists a dynamic similarity, it means that indirectly we used to say that there exists a geometric similarity and a kinematic similarity. So as we are knowing that the number of forces those are involved in a fluid flow problems are inertia, gravity, elastic force, surface tension, pressure, viscous force. Total about 6 forces are there. Okay, and when those forces is to act on a fluid, then its momentum is changes. Then its a momentum changes. It means that if you consider the total forces acting on the flowing fluid, suppose that this is a fluid and it is acted upon by all the forces. The 6 forces those who have involved, due to which its a momentum is changing and it's a flowing. We can say like this. Then in that case, we can say that the summation of the forces those are acting on this, if they are going to change its momentum, that is ma, and that summation is nothing but the summation of the viscous force. It involves viscous force, it involves a gravitational force, it involves a pressure force, then elastic force, surface tension force, okay, and the pressure force, and combinedly their effect is nothing but the change in the momentum of that flow or that fluid, that is ma, we can say. So to have a dynamic similarity, we can write here, that is a summation of the forces in the model divided by a summation of forces in the prototype must be the same one. That is a force scale ratio, FR, I would like to write, and that will be equals to the momentum, that is a m into a of the model divided by a momentum per unit time of the prototype. When this exists, then and only then we can say that there exists a dynamic similarity. So for a complete dynamic similarity to exist between the model and its a prototype, the ratio of the inertia force of the two systems, okay, inertia force of the two systems means model and prototype, ratio of the pressure force of model and prototype, ratio of viscous force and model and prototype, ratio of the gravitational force, that will be same for the model and prototype. All those ratios must be the same one for the model and prototype. Then and only then we can say that there exists a dynamic similarity. And we are knowing that in every force, for example, for a inertia force, we can say mass into acceleration. It involves the velocity, which is nothing but the length per unit time, means there involves a length ratio, time ratio. Okay, it means to have any dynamic similarity, it is a must to have the geometric similarity and kinematic similarity. And if all three similarities used to exist, then that particular condition is called as a similitude. Then it is called as a similitude. Okay, so again we can write for the dynamic similarity. I forgot to write here. That is, for existence of the dynamic similarity, we can write here the inertia force of a proto by model or model by proto, let it be whatever it may be, that ratio is going to remain same. Inertia force of a model divided by proto, or the inertia force of a proto divided by model, must be is equals to the gravitational force of the model and proto is equals to likewise for the all the forces. Okay, for the all the forces means the ratio for the each and every force must be the same one. The scale ratio must be the same one. Then and only then we can say that there exists a dynamic similarity. And if all the three similarities exist, then we can say that this is a similitude. Geometric similarity between model prototype, kinematic similarity between model prototype, and dynamic similarity between model and prototype. If exist, then we can say that this is a type of a similitude. This is a type of a similitude. Okay.